The Tema Harbour stands as one of the greatest generators of Ghana's import revenues. When properly managed, Tema can no doubt be a gold mine for Ghana, as are other port cities like Hamburg, etc. Experts have suggested that Ghana could win itself off donor support if those in charge of Ghana's port city worked hard enough and cut out the corruption and negligence. Bribery and extortion in Tema Harbour started from the very first GPHA security officials we set our eyes on. Every paper you pass to an officer, you have to pay. He takes his fair shot of bribe even without seeing the goods. If you organize the best bribe taking or extortion award at the harbour, it will be very difficult to find a winner. This woman prefers to dance before she takes. He has just taken 1,500 cedis from us and released our goods.
If I ever doubted that some of the people in SEPS were really working against the economy, what I saw with my own eyes and heard with my ears convinced me beyond any reasonable doubt that if this is a person who has sworn to work in the interest of our nation, I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, this is the time for introspection.
Now, as a result of your last video, 97 SEPS personnel were fired. We have the president who went there really angry, talking to the SEPS commission, and even in the presidential address that he just had, he also made mention of it. Now, how does it make you feel that you are creating this uproar for everyone to pay attention to the things that we've been ignoring?
I'm very encouraged. First of all, I say thank you to civil society because they are the driving force. I say thank you to leadership because you can't do it all alone. You need leadership to understand where you're coming from. And I've had the support not only from the Mills administration, I had it in the Kufuor administration. And that's the beauty of proper journalism. It cuts across political divides. It doesn't matter who is in power. All that they have to do is to see the sense in what you are doing. All that they have to do is to see the transparency in what you are doing. I have collaborated with many state institutions. Don't forget, even in the enemies of the nation, 2 of my spice girls got busted. It took the intervention of the high state security apparatus to have them released. So this work is not about heroism. It's about collaboration. It's about putting our energies together and helping to ensure that we clean the society out of the ills. So it is heartwarming to see the president pick up on the story. It is really good. I encourage more of those to happen. You know, it brings us all to the level to believe that we can all join hands and clean up the mess in this country.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are encouraging you. I'm very happy that you're doing this work, especially because it's good work.
Yeah, but let me tell you this. That happened about a month ago.
Okay.
I saw this old woman who walked to me because I knew one of the relatives. And she just walked to me and she said, "Congratulations." I said, "Thank you. I want to give you something." And I'm like, I was thinking about this is an old woman, very old. I'm talking about 70, 80 thereabout.
Yeah.
Then she takes out her cloth. She unwraps the cloth and she opens it up and she takes 5 Ghana cedis. And she says, "Take it." And I'm saying, "No, old mom, I should be giving you." I said, "No, it's not about how much I give you. This is about my appreciation for your work. I really support you and take this as a contribution to a great effort." I took it and I felt so relieved that at that age of 80, 70, 80, if she could have this feel, then what else should be my motivation? I've forever been motivated by people like that.
Wow. Wow. Now, can I ask you also, how do you get funding for a lot of the work that you do?
Most of the funding comes from my newspaper and myself, of course. I've also in recent times had collaborations with state institutions to read the evil. I've had collaboration with Ghana Cocoa Board and another state institution in doing my latest 2 works. They've gone very well. Like I keep telling you, let's not pretend in this country that we are heroes or we are commandos or we are James Bonds. You definitely will need the collaboration of a state institution. Now look at the cocoa story, for example. I needed 2 trucks of cocoa to do my investigations. Where were you expecting me to get that from? So if we are all pushing the common good, and Ghana Cocoa Board says, hey, that's a fantastic idea. This is 2 trucks of cocoa. Who the hell? Do I just keep quiet and not affect the change that I want to affect in my society? Certainly, I prefer to take up that issue and work on it than to sit idle in the name of ethics and say, well, I will not do it. We are not in the ideal world like the West, whose journalism is funded by public broadcasting. Who funds us? No, we are not funded here. However, we are aspiring to be an ideal world. How do we make all the changes? Let me tell you this story about BBC wanting to do a show on me. Then the team comes up and I ask you, how much, what's the funds that you are bringing to do it? And they are quoting about some £60,000, 70,000 or better still $80,000 to do a film about me. I'm like, wow. This is somebody coming to do a film that I have already done. Now, if they are committed to support their journalists, to do such quality programs, why shouldn't we be committed? In any case, there's nothing unethical about it. Once you declare your stance. That's why if you watch my cocoa story, the first thing that I tell you is my collaboration. Of course, we must also take note of the fact that it's not everybody who wants to be mentioned. There are countless, hundreds of people who help us to cross the road that we cross. Yeah. But unfortunately, some of them do not want to be mentioned. And I'm encouraged by their spirit and their support. That is why I'm convinced that you see lots more of great stories churning out from our stable.
Yeah. Now, what do you have to say to the journalists out there who feel that your work is also a little bit unethical and that you're, because of the fact that you get funding by the government?
I think that they must go back and look at the ethics well of the profession. I've read it all. I know what I'm talking about. First of all, criticism comes by my style of journalism, filming. I think that we all know what we call public interest, and we are yet. I have not lost any single case in my life before. None. I mean, none. So, I mean, I think that some of my colleagues should rather join hands for us to fight societal evil. It's about moving this country forward. It's about moving our continent forward. We cannot sit down and stick ourselves into ethics. And even the ethics, they are misreading what the ethics is. I have a quotation from Professor Kwame Kakari, Dr. Audrey Gejebo. All these people are think tanks in the profession. Once you declare where you are coming from, you have given the viewer an opportunity to watch you and analyze you from where you come from. And don't forget, when we twist and turn stories, society and posterity will never forgive us. Because what we do live across centuries. They become pictures that will eternalize, or better still, stay in the minds of people forever. So 100 years from today, people will take my work and do a proper critique of it. I'm conscious of that. I want my grandchildren to watch my work and say, our granddaddy did a good job. Yeah. So I don't see how I can get manipulated when I'm on the field. Yeah. I do what I do according to my conscience, and I ensure that I bring out nothing. I strive towards the truth and nothing more.
Yeah. Now, who are the Tiger Investigative Team, and how do they also get funded?
The Tiger Investigative Team is a very complex web of masked faces. You wouldn't know. Perhaps you are even one of us and you don't know. We are very complex. We operate very well. We have a very tight network. We don't have a designated office. We have different places of meeting because our lives are at risk because of what we expose. But we have very formidable investigative work, one of the leading in Africa. We have done work across this country. We have worked for government and all that. So we are quite a formidable team.